Well. Another chapter starts. G'day, Brent.
Evening all.
Uh,
How you going?
Good. How are you going? All right.
Oh, hectic day, hectic day. It's
It takes a bit to muster the strength up to come and do this.
it's, I
After
mean,
a day.
it's got to happen anyway, so we may as well share. I'd be cutting it anyway, but some
Uh,
days you just want to go to the lounge and go into a cocoon.
I just it's like I said. I think. I don't think tiredness is going to go away, except if we need to have a little holiday in between now, between the 2021, just to have a break from this year that we've had so far. And like it just doesn't seem to get it. We just can't get away from the tiredness, huh?
No, it's been a full on year for everyone, I'm sure. On all the added layers of pressure. Like it's
Yeah.
COVID, it's work, it's uncertainty, it's all the little things on top of a normal chaos schedule. It wears you down over time.
Just want to resize. Sorry, we just had an update, as I was saying to Brent before, and things have shifted around a bit. So I'm just trying to familiarize myself with the layout. Um, so there's a couple of that that's saying hi, Brent. We do the normal
Yep.
thing. One thing that I
G'day, Eddie.
mentioned to
Yeah, I
you,
can see.
you might just have to go into your stream that's on afterwards and just change the title to episode 5 because I forgot to update the title. So it's just saying my name now. We've gone live. So you'll see. Just change the title to what's
Yep.
the odds. You'll see what I do. I just wanted to mention that before I forget. Um,
Sure.
Let me just have a look and see who's here tonight. Eddie Darnell is
G'day,
there.
Eddie.
Let me.
Eddie's coming for a road trip, he reckons.
Oh, okay.
Qantas won't hurry up and pull their finger out, so Eddie's going to be the man and cross the border.
All right. Okay. Darren Boswell.
Mr.
Let me
Boswell,
the usual crowd. Hi, all. Hello, Darren. Fresh
Mr.
blood.
Moose,
Fresh,
Moose,
who is fresh blood reptiles? Hey, boys. Hope the odds are on your side, Brent. Who's fresh blood? Who's fresh blood?
Josh,
Who?
Joshua, Josh. Um, what's his last name?
I
Went
always
to a
see.
blank.
I saw. Always see
Um,
his page pop up in my newsfeed. G'day, mate.
yep,
Give us a yell so we know who the names are. Donna Bennett. Hello, Donna is becoming usual on the show. Hello. Let me put up Dave Muzz Williams. Evening, lads. G'day, mate. We'll just say hi, Brent, because we're building a little community here that comes and checks out what you're hatching. So we might as well say hi to everybody.
yep,
Chris Fry, another usual. Wal Roberts. Evening.
yep.
Colin Ray. Haven't seen you in a while. Hello, mate. I hope you.
Hey, the
Yeah.
Stimmy King,
Yeah.
Colin Ray himself. G'day, mate.
The Stimmy King. I like it. We just the title. I like it. Hi guys, ready for a run around? Michelle Rumbler. Hello, Michelle. Yes.
G'day, Michelle. Yep.
Brendan Kobe Dent. Sup lads. Hello, mate. Johnny GTP Gray. Hello, Johnny. Eddie Darnell. Hello. There's a few here, man. It's getting every time there's more. Every time it's David Sands, Gary McDougal, I think. Right, Merrick McDougal. That's the first time I see that surname. I haven't never seen that surname before. So, Brent,
Cool.
uh, what are we doing tonight?
Pretty. Oh, nothing sort of to prove out really. It's a double head granite albino girl, proven girl who's she's one of the girls I got off you, original girls.
Ah,
So
regional.
she'd she's probably done 4 seasons, I think 5 seasons maybe. I don't know,
Yeah,
but
so
she's
it's
a pro.
nothing. It's nothing new to you, but there'd be a few people here that are quite a few years away from doing what you're doing tonight. So it's good to see it, and it'd be good to see what the babies are like. Yeah, I know that you were quite wrapped with a snake that hatched or that shed the other day, that little caramel looking thing. But we'll have a look at that later. That was
It
quite.
died. Would you
Oh,
believe? Yep.
oh,
It was looking fantastic, and then 2 days later, it had shed, hadn't even fed it yet. Come in and things dead in a tub. So
which one? Which one was that now?
that caramel-looking granite thing,
Oh,
the really light, weird-looking caramel thing that looked very odd, and yeah, didn't kick on, sadly. So
maybe
it does
maybe
happen.
maybe post a photo later of that. Maybe that was a interesting looking snake, but that would make sense. It might have had something wrong, and that's why looks like that. You know.
possibly maybe a little underdeveloped, and that's why that color and patterning was very very light on it. Might not have fully pigmented up towards the late stages. So
Yeah.
yeah, I was sad with that one. That was a really good looking little snake, and the goannas didn't even want to eat it, so it went in the bin. Sadly,
Oh, so it was rejected. Oh my goodness.
yeah,
Let's just say
very sad.
there's a few more people. Yeah, hang on, mate. Zach Zemak, hello, hello. Alan Walker, I saw he liked the stream. Hello, Alan. G'day. I haven't seen you on here.
Yeah,
Josh Wilson, I think
yep.
he probably
G'day, Joshy. I was chatting to him today.
yes. Is that Josh Wilson? Is it? Is yeah?
Yep, Josh Wilson. I've got a snake here of his somewhere.
Oh
He's
yeah.
also waiting on Qantas to pull their finger out.
Yeah, Jeremy Findley. Hello, mate.
Oh, Jeddah, beautiful man.
Okay, there's questions coming through already, but let's just get going. I mean,
Let's just cut some eggs,
do
eh?
it. Yeah, Emma's there. Yeah, she wouldn't be far away from the
Hello, Emma.
Yeah,
And the other half of Emma won't be far, the beard lord himself.
the beard lord. Yeah, I like that. See, we're getting back into it. We're getting into the swing. We're cheering up now. We're getting summoning up the forces to get to get into the mood for this. I know you are. You like seeing what's in the egg. So shall I go?
Well, this is a granite proven male. He's not het albino. He was a poss head proved out last year just to be a straight granite. So we're hoping to see just some granites in this clutch, granites and some head granites. So hopefully better odds than not. It's always a battle, isn't it? With 3, 6, 9, 12 eggs. Ratio wise, we should see 6 granites, 6 wild types, say the odds gods, but we all know exactly how good or bad that game goes at times. So
what did you say? Just a straight granite male?
it's great granite male to double head granite albino female.
Let me just go big screen because otherwise people will scream at me. So sorry, guys. Here we go. Yeah. I did remember.
Don't be a rookie.
So I'll keep reading through the comments here and stuff. Michelle, we'll get to that question. Remind me later. Have egg attached to a rotten egg. What do you think will be? Yeah, the egg will be okay. Well, so what have we got there? Straight out of the egg, granite. Nice.
Straight up granite. Yep. First off the bat, which is always love getting off to a good start. Keep the numbers in check early. So
let's see if you can hold it a little bit closer. Let's see how about there. Oh yes, very nice. We'll up the game soon. We'll up the game. 2021, we'll have the pro set up there for videos. So
yeah, we'll get some light, nice. Some camera action, but nice light exploded pattern. Very nice granity pattern. Not more like the IJ pure stuff patterning, you know.
How many eggs did you have last year out of this female, mate?
Lots more last year. She's a regular for low 20s, 22, 23.
I remember that first season you had a big. Both of them had. Do you still have both the girls?
Yep. Hell yeah, they're never leaving. They're my golden girls. Those ones.
That's a lot. That's probably the last of a line that or not the last of the line from the animals that I made. That's probably some of the last ones that's out there. You know.
Yeah, look at that. 2 from 2.
Yay! Very good.
On track early.
A nice another granite. Is that one? I always give them a little tug just to the veins look all right. That yolk, no, that's not. It's
not really well absorbed.
Yeah, it looks a bit big. The gap on the stomach there.
The egg sucked in a little bit on the side there.
So maybe it's just pushed a little bit.
Yeah, I can't see his head. I'll have to dig his head out and make sure he's okay.
Yeah. Oh, is he moving though? He's moving.
Hard to say.
Okay, leave him later. Set him aside. Yeah, set him aside. Who else? Aiden Dempsey. Hello, mate. Brendan Kobe Dent. Ashley. I think he tagged somebody in there. Crystal Assing. Hello, Crystal. Welcome to the show. Remember, guys, do us a big favor. Share it around, please. It seems to bump the numbers up as soon as you start sharing. We don't like to ask people to share, but share the love. There we go.
The share army.
It is Christmas. It is Christmas after all. So another one? No.
Nah, wild type.
Wild type.
Wild type. Bit of banding, thick banding on the side there.
Yeah, there we go.
Quite a dark little animal too, but it'd be a head granite, which are always useful.
Yep. And they'll be 100, that's 100% head then, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. And I guess
So that,
50% poss head albino, since the mother is a double
yeah.
head, but it's really the 100% granite's the magic.
So just for those of you that don't know what het means, it just means it carries it's carrying a half a copy of the allele or of the gene that causes the granite phenotype.
Woo-wee.
Third one, yes, there we go.
Three, three granites looking good.
Yeah, and our head was nice right there at the top. That's very nice.
Yeah, yeah, always a good sign. That one looking, yep,
There we
head
go.
head off and going. So
Tucks it in and then it pisses off. That's what it's saying.
yeah, and that's why I cut those U-shaped tops, so you can basically, that egg's still fairly wet. What I would say, probably once another day,
Yeah.
you can pretty much just push that lid shut and back in the hole. But when it wants to get out, no restrictions for it to escape the egg later on.
I see a lot of guys cut V-shaped, and that's something that I used to do as well when I used to breed lots of carpet pythons. Hey Marty, but I get Marty's there. Hello, Marty. Um,
Hey, Marty.
a lot of guys cut V-shaped heads in, and I found over time that those V incisions sometimes they get caught the yolk stalk or the yolk sac gets caught on the V, the tip of the V, and it
Yep,
rips literally cuts the yolk sac off, and then the snake dies. Bleeds out. So
yep,
something
absolutely.
something to note. Try and avoid sharp edge shapes in your eggs. I've seen so many hack jobs when it comes. Is that another one?
Just a wild type, yeah.
Okay, okay,
Lot of patterning, just getting rid of some of those veins out there to free it up. No tangulation. It's funny you talk about that V shape. Here's you go back to the other camera for a second.
yeah.
Let me just show you something. This is the one that pipped. When I said to you this morning, nothing was out, but it was time. It was day 62, so I was keen
What
to
do you
get
want to
them
do?
out of the egg.
Do you want to big
Um,
the phone or the?
Actually, I'll just show you this one that come out. Sorry, go back to the other one. Yeah, I can show it better under this one.
Yeah.
See the cord hanging out of that thing.
Yes.
Um, as soon as I got home, this one was out of the egg and had gone back down through the mesh and digging around underneath. And as soon as I picked up the mesh to get it out,
Yeah.
it had a long piece of that egg sac connected and ripped it straight through and bled everywhere. Like it
Yeah.
was catastrophic bloodbath inside the tub. So that's certainly the risk, like you say, cutting the V's in those eggs that drags over and slices that,
Yeah.
and you end up with just an absolute mess of blood. So
So another tip that I can give. So what I used to do is I used to have a scissor like Brent's got there, and what I used to have, I used to just when they had the exposed yolk stalk with the yolk sac attached to it, I used to just warm the tip of the scissor over a gas stovetop, and then over the flame until it got red hot, and then I just snipped that right off. Leave a little bit out, like it looked like when Brent showed it just then. You just cut it off. It'll make a nice sizzle sound, and it will stop the bleeding straight away. So it
yep.
won't even bleed. You just go straight through it. So
No, I mean quite often that one stopped itself after a minute or so.
yeah,
But
yeah,
like you say, you can make it instant. I even run the scissors under the boiling water. I got a hot water system here, straight
yeah.
under the bench there, so I can get the scissors near glowing just from hot water coming straight out of the tank.
Yeah, hang on, let me see. I wonder if Brent pull off another miracle. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. What will happen to the hatchy treatment or leave it and sort itself out? Yeah, they absorb that little stalky thing that hangs out of their stomach, and then they go on their merry way. So what's that?
That's a granite.
Oh, how many? Four? Yeah, on
Little
track,
granite.
on track. Yeah.
Four going well.
Jordan
So we should.
McEwen. Hello, mate. Yeah. See, a little bit of sharing, and we almost 70 viewers. So that it helps. It helps. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Share Army.
Yeah.
I saw a couple of people Mr. Freshblood himself shared it today. Riley Seed shared it. A few people.
That's what I saw it
Thank
popped
you.
up there. So we really appreciate you guys coming and checking out the show and sharing it around. Thank you very much for that. Oh, Faye, hello, Faye. How are you?
Oh, the Antaresia Queen herself. Oh, look at that one. That is
Another
a
that's
cracker.
nice. That's got the light edges behind the neck there. That's gonna be a.
Yeah, that's a really nice granite.
And when you say, well, when you get that tone in your voice, oh, that's a really nice guy.
Oh
You might
yeah,
have to hold
yeah.
this back for a little while and just check it out.
You can, yeah, absolutely. Those ones where you can see you hit that really, really light color. They're
Yeah,
that's the good stuff. You can stay in
that's
there for a
really
little bit
nice.
longer there, fella.
Very nice, very nice. So far, so good.
Looking
Faye
good.
says, Faye says, gorgeous. Thanks, Faye. I
Thank
know,
you, Faye.
I know, I'm gorgeous. Thanks. I'm only kidding. I'm only kidding. I've got the
she's a
perfect social radio. I don't know.
she's a married woman these days. You
Oh yes, he's taken. He's taken.
yep, done off the market.
Yep. There we go. So you need what's happening with that scissor? You need that thing sharpened, mate. What's going on?
Just too careful.
Wild type. There we
Yeah, that
go.
wild type, big thick banding on it. Egg still a little bit wet as well. 3 wild types. We're still ahead. 5 granites are going okay. There's a couple of
Yeah.
shitty eggs over here. We'll get rid of a couple of these ones that are a bit average looking. Probably be fine. And just I think they sit in different areas of the tub. They get towards the back of the incubator where the cord is on the back wall. They always they're a little bit warmer. They cook a little bit faster, a little bit more
Yep.
developed.
That egg's crispy, isn't it? Huh?
It is. It's a very dry egg. And another little wild type, and nice and light too. You get that
Yeah.
polygenic variation of color. So very light little head. It's just one
So
had a
far,
bit of
so
a
far.
weird
So,
end on it.
in theory, you should be up for one more granite. If
Yep,
we go
should.
strictly according to Mendelian laws, that's sort of
Which,
the ratios that you're expecting. Anything more is usually a bonus.
yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, Aidan. Shared it to all
Sweet.
reptile groups on Facebook. Thanks for that.
Champion.
You can also watch
Champion.
the show on YouTube. Just thought I'd mention that. So if you want to, so it's easier to find different shows when you go on YouTube. The full Facebook's hard to navigate the videos. So if you want to go and check out the Carpet Python TV on YouTube, there's quite a bit of a library there that you can go through, and we've had quite a few people on the show in the past. Yes. Oh, he wants to go, doesn't he?
He's keen. Little wild type. Strong. Ready for action.
See how the veins are reduced on the inside of that shell.
Yeah.
Like that's a good indication that he's ready to go. And the bubbles on the, he probably has he split that egg himself yet or not?
No, and that's what I mean. That egg was very tough, and that's one that probably would have been in danger at day 62 if he's more than ready to be out. I can see the egg tooth on
Yeah,
it. It'd be very
you can
hard
see
to.
it in the camera. So if you pivot it, you probably catch the light on it. Oh, it's gone back now. But
Yeah.
if you guys go back about 2 or 3 seconds, you'll be able to see the little egg tooth just shining in the light. Yeah, I was looking at that going, is that the egg tooth? Yeah, you could sort of see it there. Yeah, there we go. There we go. You can see the little egg tooth right on the tip of the nose.
Yep. So I
Very
reckon
nice.
he would have chopped himself out tonight for sure. Like he's ready. He's more than keen to be out and about. So
Yeah, thanks, Darren. So shared it into the MP Morelia Python MPR. Is it the MPR chat group? Yeah, it's a Morelia Python group. Yeah. Thank you, Darren.
cool. Well, we're back to even 5 and 5. Two to go.
Amy Defty, hello. Yes, welcome back. Oh, there's one of those nubby eggs, those nipple eggs.
That's one of those really, weird. You get a bit of a window, and it sort of goes a bit hard and dried up. Quite often, you get some pretty odd things come out of these type eggs. So they're not always a perfect scenario inside.
Quick question. Remember we had it in the last clutch, you had that small clutch, that small egg. How's did that hatchling climb out?
Yep, it was a little caramel jag, quite small,
Yeah.
quite strong in the neuro though. He's a little bit twisted unit, but got out okay. So, yeah, that's granite.
So 6. So that's a more dark. That's a more standard looking granite with a darker marks. Although you wouldn't know if the next if it's got the lighter patches around the neck. But these things
Yeah.
change over time. You know, that's a great thing about carpet pythons. You could have a dog ugly carpet python climb out of an egg, and then later on it turns into something magnificent. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
that's a great thing with carpets. It's also it counts against them as well because a lot of people look at them when they're young and they go, oh, you know, like it's pretty. Some of them can be really bland when they're younger, and then as they get older, they change. The color goes lighter, you know, darker, whatever, and then that's usually a better time to get them. At about if you want to be sure of what your snake's going to look like as it goes older, you know, if it's always good to sort of you can buy them at like a year old. Usually at around a year of age, you can see if it's have a rough idea of what a snake is going to look like when it's older. So if you hold off, you know, if you want to know what your
If
animal
you
looks
can
like,
wait.
get it when it's a little bit older.
Yeah, I know guys that hold stuff back for 9 months, 12 months to just to get an idea of what it's like. You know, you just can't tell with some things
Yeah,
how good they color up. You know, the third, fourth, fifth sheds are explosive sometimes. So,
yeah,
and a wild type to finish. So that's a rare event that we get exactly 6 and 6. So
very good.
spot on the money for exactly where the number should be.
Yeah, so is
Yeah,
that it? Is there any more? Is that did we go through all of the eggs already?
that's it. Done. 6 and 6, 6 granites, 6 wild types.
Oh
So
well, it's nothing. Nothing to see here. It's worked out even. I thought we'd get at least. Yeah, I thought we'd get a surprise, get more. Your knowing your odds in clutches, you're pretty good at that. You normally have a heavier ratio of the stuff that you like. So, but that's good.
that's good, but like we've talked about before, you get the equalizer. You know, some years you'll kill it, and then 2 years down the track you'll get 10 eggs and 8 wild types. So I think over time it gets very close back to the right numbers. You know, you can't cheat the system. It's like playing a poker machine. I think you can rock in and play once and win. Or if you play every day, it's just the odds will go to where they need to be. So
Yeah, let me see. Let's see if there's. So thanks for that. Let's see if there's anybody. If anybody has a question, I think Michelle Rumler asked if you know, if you've got a rotten egg stuck onto. I think we've asked before, but we're here to answer the question. So this is your chance to ask a few questions for the next 10 minutes. So Michelle asked, a rotten egg attached to a healthy egg. I've never had issues with that, depending on what type of fungus. Different looking fungus on eggs could be dangerous. You know, if you usually when the egg starts going yellow and starts smelling, that's when I would take I would pull the eggs apart.
yeah.
If an egg goes the dark green type fungus and sort of almost just crushes in on itself and dries out, I tend to just lose. I used to just tend to leave the eggs with the rest of the bunch. You know, there's no need to disturb them if you don't have to.
That grey powdery, they get onto them doesn't seem to affect anything. If an egg's going to go bad, it generally goes bad from inside out. One egg, actually, there's a couple in the incubator at the moment that right in the middle, there's dirty grey clumps of mess that I haven't touched, and
Yeah,
that doesn't spread. Like if the egg next to it's going to go bad anyway, it's not because of that fungus, it's because the egg was bad. So
yeah.
mm.
Question here: would you recommend for new breeders to maybe hold back their clutches until 12 months? I'll let you tell Aiden Dempsey. Let me put the
if
question.
you, if you've got the means to, like, if you've got the space and the food and you want to keep the stuff back to see what it looks like, sure. There's a lot of animals I keep back for the simple reason I might keep 2 or 3 of the same thing. Like all those are blackheads. I'll hold back 3. I'm not going to keep all 3, but I'll hold them, and in 12 months' time, I'll pick the 1 or 2 that I think are the best, and then you never have a problem selling yearlings. It's everyone loves a snake that's very well established, coloured up, and a snake at 12 months old looks fantastic. So they're
Yeah.
certainly not hard to sell. So
I think it boils down to the seller's remorse as well. You know, you'd never want to sell a snake to somebody
no,
and look at
no,
that animal 12 months later and go, I should have never sold that snake. That was one of the biggest things that I hated. And that's why I used to keep things back for longer than as many as I could. I kept back for 12 months.
yep,
And
absolutely.
then,
It's
you know,
my like my mate Mr. Muz Williams back down the feed there, who got a little Bradley off me that was only a male that I sold it. If it was a female, I never would have sold it. Just a wild type Bredli Posset albino that was just a stunning animal, just very different color, very different pattern to everything else, and
Bloody hell,
beautiful, beautiful snake.
we
I knew it
shouldn't
was going to be good, but
we shouldn't say it's question time because they just roll in now. Oh,
we got
hang on.
ourselves an hour of TV now.
Let's see. So, what breed of snake? Crystal Hassing asks, "What breed?" I hope I pronounced your surname right. What breed of snake are both of your favorites? So, what's your favorite, Brent?
I do love a standard granite like this stuff here. Is top shelf for me. I love, and like granite jags to me, they're beautiful animals, but they get a little bit too much zebra jag looking. I prefer straight up granite, albino granite, obviously the next level of that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And I love an exanthic BHP. They're a stunning animal. Certainly when they're young, come out of the egg, they're the best looking hatchie, I think, for something that's fresh. They've got so much vibrance out of the egg. Carpets are very dull when they're born, but
yeah.
exanthic blackheads are just boom. If they could stay that way forever, you'd be happy. But we all know they get older and their colours tend to wash out, and the pattern tends to blend in a little bit. But
I guess that's a trade-off you get with with snakes. You either have them pretty when they're young and then they dull as they get older, or you have them dull as they get. And carpets are the same. You get mutations that are really nice when they're born, and then they dull as they get older. Or you can have
yep,
the reverse. Like granites don't look like much when they're born, but then as they get older, they turn into fabulous, spectacular animals. And you combine it with stuff like axanthic and like the orange albino granites that you've got. Those things are they spectacular snakes. I mean, I
yeah,
can't think of a nicer looking orange animal than those granite jacks, those albino granites.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
Let's see. Would you okay? It's that question we done. Update on the Chimera. I think.
Yeah, going strong. It's fine. I checked him when I got home. I'll grab him out. He's strong. He's stable. He doesn't seem to be too upset with me interfering with him at all. Well, her actually. I popped it the other night.
The girl.
Fairly confident female. I didn't push the limits too far. But
Don't stress it out too much. Just
now I'll sit it
got
under
his
here,
own.
and we can.
Oh, look how nice and clean it is. I like it.
Got its own little house in there, and there we go.
Oh yes, there we go. So the proof's in the. So still going. Well, that looks
Still
like
going strong.
the shed's on the way. The shed's on the way.
Yep.
That's good.
Skin certainly getting very thick and creased up. So I'd say a couple of days. Hopefully we'll see a shed. Hopefully we can get the skin off nice and easy. None of the clutch mates have actually shed yet, so gauging it off that, it's certainly not behind schedule compared to the others anyway.
I'm quite surprised with the breathing looks good. It doesn't look labored or anything. The head, the head tilt you'll get with something that's that different. There's no way around the Nero, but it's looking
No,
good. It didn't go crazy and start twirling and carrying on like they normally do. So that's good.
it had some moments early. Like it's a rough week for it. It was all happening for it, and it's a shock to its system, I'm sure. But
Yeah,
certainly Neuro there. It's half Super Jag and half Ghost Jag. So
yeah.
the Jag is strong in it, so it's going to happen.
But I mean, you're not the type that's going to go and play with it every day. You'll have it on display, and then when I come around, we'll do some photos and we'll do it some justice, and we'll get it. First a one. I hope it survives that long because I'd love to take photos of that animal, mate. Seriously,
Yeah, absolutely.
that's
It's
something that
defied my thoughts already. I really thought the lack of lung tissue would have pulled it up, but its lung tissue
yeah,
looks better now than what it did when it hatched. It seemed to be repairing itself daily. So
yeah.
it's so far so good.
I'm surprised. I almost died when you just said something died. I thought you misheard me, and you said it was. I was actually quite relieved. Sorry. I mean, it was a big loss, the little caramel granite, but I was
Yeah.
thinking you were thinking the chimera. But that's good.
No. Just the granite Hermie. That was probably my favourite hatchie this year. That thing that died. I was opened that tub and it's shattered. It still hurts when you lose those pretty ones.
Shit, I missed a few questions here. They just okay. Hang on. Let me just go back. Okay, so we
Scroll
did
back.
the chimera.
I'm just gonna turn the aircon on while you
There you go.
scroll.
So we did that, Jeremy. I hope you're happy. I'm happy. I haven't seen that. I haven't. I was going to ask Brent today when I spoke to him, but we were too busy and I forgot to ask him. So that's good.
I
Best
was
place,
chasing a mosquito for 5 minutes. Yeah,
yeah.
it was
Best place,
exciting.
and I was trying to figure out the system. Best place to get tub racks in Australia for large to small snakes. I don't know who's got tubs anymore.
Um, Tubs and racks is a tough one at the moment. Vision's out. Steve's apparently not bringing any more in.
Yeah.
Someone I think will take it over. There's Ben. Can't think of his last name. BCR Racks, new guy who's
Ben
got
Ryan.
some
Is it Ben
stuff.
Ryan? Is it Ben Ryan? I don't know.
Could be.
Somebody help us
Yeah.
out. Is it BCF Racks or something like that? Give us a shout if you know who we're talking about. I saw he's building them locally. I don't know what the pricing's like. I can imagine it's going to be not cheap.
Yep.
But then if you're serious about reptiles, I mean, people always go, oh, but it's too expensive. Yeah, but if you buy something and you spend a little bit more the first time and it lasts you 20 years, then you won't regret that. I mean, we all go through
Absolutely.
a phase where we go, oh, it's too, we all try and be cheap and then we just have to buy 3 or 4 times. So rather spend a little bit more at the start. It's like a decent cage. Don't
Yep.
flash out, get a proper thermostat, not these bloody IMIT things that sit on the back of the cage, those round things with the dials. Get a proper thermostat, get a proper cage.
Yeah.
You'll thank me.
Do it
You'll
right.
thank us afterwards. So
Yeah. Ben Cooper. That's the name.
Ben Coop. Okay, so you must be
Yep.
seeing the comments. I'm seeing just going on by what the chat is doing here on my screen. So
Yep.
Amy. Oh, okay. Amy says always hold back more than you think you need. Yeah, correct. What method is the best when incubating? Oh, Alan, we've discussed that. I think we did. Didn't we do an incubation
I
episode?
think we did a
Yeah.
show. Yep. I mean,
Alan, if you go to YouTube, there should be an episode in the Carpet Python TV. Just find Carpet Python TV. There is an episode that Brent and I did just on reptile incubation. So go and have a look at that. That will answer all your questions. Um, Aiden Dempsey, okay, sounds great. Yep, exactly where I was going with the question. Okay. How's your special baby? Okay, we've answered that. Dave just shed to mate looking the goods. Dave Muzz Williams said his snake shed is all happy. Your wife had a comment in there somewhere. I think she was tagging somebody in there. Hi, Cherie. Um, Tony Hall, is there a different outcome if you put those eggs once cut back on their substrate or on wet paper towel? No.
no, I
What
put
would
them
you
back
do?
on the mesh. So I don't like eggs, even when they're cut, to be sitting in water. So I don't want to sit them straight back into water medium. So I put them back on the mesh until they come out. And once they're all out of the eggs, chuck the eggs, take the mesh out, and they can sit on damp paper towel then for a few days. So he's a little blackhead shedding as we speak.
Oh, that's not the ones that you hatched this year, is it?
No, it's one of last year's holdbacks,
Hold
but
on, hold on. I'm gonna go bigger. So this is the part of the show that it's shedding as we
yeah,
speak.
I just happened to catch it, a glimpse of it as it was rubbing up the front of the tub, and went, "Oh, look out! It's a fresh skin."
That was my favorite thing to help them to assist them shedding. I love that. Oh,
Mm.
call me crazy, but it's the best thing seeing that skin come off, holding it, and it just wriggles right out of your hand with that skin. I think a lot of people like that. Who else likes
Yep.
it? Who else likes the feel of that snake with the shed coming off it? That could sound terrible, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking
It's
about.
true. That shed skin is super soft. Like people,
Yeah.
who have never felt skin before, like it's almost damp
Yeah.
and super super soft to touch when it's coming off. It's
You've got a piece of skin stuck on the head there that's making it look. Is that a little rub?
nah, it's going all the way to here. It's got a clump down here and it's peeling from over here. So it's probably
No, no, no.
upset now because I've
On
exposed it. So
it looks like it's on its head. There looks like it's a little a piece of skin that's stuck there. Yeah. Was that just a
little
rub?
white dot. No,
Yeah.
it's a white dot. It's got the white chin and a little
Ah.
white dot on top of its head on the other
Okay.
side. So
So another project animal. Nice. Is this one of the
call it.
ones that you had issues with getting to start, or did this just go by
Yes.
itself?
No, this one was a pain in the ass, and then we talked about it and came up with a few ideas, and eventually all three of those are smashing rats now. Yeah, great, fantastic feeders. Once blackheads start, there's no stopping them.
I
They're
think
animals.
I think they just go longer. They need to go longer without without a first meal. I don't know. It's just something about them that they need to be a little bit hungrier than a carpet, because the eggs are so big. They've got big eggs. I mean, that's just a theory. I don't know.
Yep.
I'm not professing that I know. I'm an expert on blackheads. I'm far from it, but I'm just sort of thinking, maybe they absorb that much yolk that they don't need to eat for at least a couple of months.
Yep, they're quite big body, like you say, but they're deceptive. That after 2 or 3 months, they still look okay, but when you pick them up, their bodies get very thin. Vertically, they get very narrow, and you can sort of see that they do fade away, much like a carpet does. So, I mean, you want them to eat as early as you can get them to eat, but like you say, I always struggle to get them to eat. First time you offer food is normally a waste of time. So hopefully, after 3 or 4 attempts, they kick in and get moving.
Yeah, here we go. Matt Loveridge, Southern Serpent says Ben Cooper C. Yeah, okay, so BCR racks. Yeah, sorry, I was just seeing here. So just for those guys, a local guy, support your local Aussies that's trying to etch out a niche for them in the industry. I like that. I like guys that, and it looks like a good product. Those racks, Brent.
Excellent from what I've seen, which is just pictures on Facebook. If it's
I
if
think
it's an Aussie product, get behind it. Everyone needs to change.
I
Not
think
hacking out on China. I bet they don't want their coal. We don't want their rats.
I think he's
So,
local. I think he's a Sydney local as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. There'll be guys that know more
yep,
about it.
yeah, I believe
Michelle.
so. Yes.
So Michelle Rumbler, just a question about quarantine. I know that you are extreme with your quarantine, and you for good reasons. So you get them tested. Any new animal, you keep them off site,
Yep.
and you get them tested multiple times for everything, and only then after what? How long would you say is your average quarantine, Brent?
12 months, but saying that's overkill. Shane Simpson, who I talked to about the quarantine process, he says you just got to test. If you test the day it arrives and it's clear, and then 3 months later you test again. I only test once for sunshine,
Yeah.
twice for Nido, once on entry, once on exit. If you test that inside 3 to 4 months, you can have that animal in your collection in 4 months, basically. You don't need these extended quarantine times. You can't out quarantine the virus. You can keep a snake 2 years in quarantine and it can look perfectly, no issues, no sickness, and it's positive for Nido. Just not displaying any symptoms.
But you could bring in, but what people don't understand is as soon as you bring a new snake into an existing bunch of animals that have been quarantined, you need to start the quarantine process over again.
Absolutely.
A
So
lot of guys don't do that. They think, oh well, okay, keep on bringing new animals, and then the ones that are there have already gone through like 4 months, so they're ready to come out. But as soon as you introduce something new, then those animals could have been exposed to whatever the new snake's been carrying. So
yep, absolutely.
it's hard. I think for anybody new in the industry, I think buy as much you can at the start, and then settle down, and then wait for 12 months and then buy some more animals, and then make sure you start your quarantine. You need to sort of have a cycle of quarantining. So you have to say like every 6 months or every 12 months you're allowed to buy new snakes if you can't afford having them in different rooms and do it properly. But it's very hard to do quarantine at your house. It's almost impossible because you will mess up at some stage.
Yep, absolutely. So and that's often why my stuff's in quarantine for a year, because I got some stuff from Steve Carruthers start of the year, a couple of other animals from here and there earlier in the year. So over that 2 or 3 month gap, there's been 4 or 5 animals in, from last year's, and I'll say now they've been there all year. I just actually took them for testing a couple of weeks ago, so they're on the final exit test now, waiting for clearance, and then they can come on home, and quarantine will be empty again.
How's that? Somebody asked about that one that didn't move too much, that hatchling. Don't you want to have a look and just make sure that that guy's all right?
Yeah, I think it's this guy. We sat him up the back. Give him a little bit of a poke and see. Quite often I find them, they just don't have a lot of movement in the egg. Blackheads are notorious for it. They say that's a lie. So when you just give it a little tap with the scissors and they pull away.
Yeah, that guy's not doing that.
He did it once. I just saw him just.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, move his stomach. Yeah, that's fine. He's probably just saying, piss off. I'm sitting there for a little while still.
Yeah, he's not quite ready. Still quite wet. I'd like him to get his head up. Would be ideal.
Yeah.
If I can find where he's got his head tucked away. Obviously, I just want them to be able to get access oxygen as soon as they, now that they're disconnected from the egg. I want that head to be in a position to work.
He's want nothing of it. So there's a few other freaks out there that likes ripping off that likes the feel of the skin. I knew I wasn't the only one. Rolling off a snake's condom, Amy. Oh, come on. Yeah, okay. It's right. It's right. It's right. It's like a little condom. Yeah. Who else? Ripping off sunburn. Faye Rankin. It is. It is like a peeling off sunburn, isn't it? That skin. Wow, crazy. Dan Drieberg, it's looking satisfying. Yes, it's very satisfying. So many people, yeah. See, that's a funny thing.
It is nice, and sometimes it's nice to be able to. They get a little bit stuck or tired. I've often come in, the snake's gone back to bed, half undressed. It's given up hope. So drag it back out, and and take 30 seconds. You can get it off. I feel like sometimes they appreciate that little bit of help. Not that they need it. I'm sure they'd get it done when they're ready. But
Remember that little tip I gave you as well. When you're assisting a hatchling's skin, like I mean, because I used to like it that much that I would just start a snake shed, and then the problem is if a snake starts shedding prematurely, they have issues getting rid of the skin. So what I used to do is I used to just try and pick
pull
the
the
skin,
nose.
and as soon as it comes loose and it's dry underneath that skin on the just on the chin area, that skin will come off no issue. If you pick that little chin, just a little skin on the chin, and it's sticky, then you need to leave that skin alone. It's not ready to come off.
Not
So
not time.
that's a
It's always hard to judge.
yeah. So it needs to be dry, but the best thing is to just leave it and let the snake do it itself. But if you're a freak like me and like to help them, assist them shedding, it was the same with beardies and any reptile. That skin's just too tempting.
You must
Faye says
interfere.
yes, the blackheads seem to lose condition pretty quickly as well. Yep, we've just checked out Ben's page, BCR. So Aiden, yeah, I'm glad we could help, mate. So we put on somebody on to maybe started a bit of business here. I just don't know. If I've seen him advertise any of those racks.
I
So
don't know. I think I was chatting to Darren Whittaker today. He said he was going to have a look at them. So he must be in Sydney. So
yeah,
he said the same thing. Looks impressive. Would love to see up close. And like I say, it comes down to cost. But I think people need to be mindful for what you said. These things are going to last 20 or 30 years. Being a metal frame rack,
yeah,
the plastic tub, they're going nowhere. Some of these racks I've had 10 plus years. One of these racks came from you
yeah,
10
yeah.
years ago, and
Yeah, it
you've
was
had
one
it
of the
forever.
2007 was the first time when Vision started coming in, and I remember getting some
Yeah.
of the first container. And you've got that rack. I still have racks here that are still, nothing wrong with them.
Yeah.
Um, there was I did notice that he does use I think it's a HDPE type plastic on those tubs as well. That's a lot thicker and a lot more durable. I'm not sure if they might discolor and go like a yellow as they get older, but you
Yeah.
don't know. I mean, it will still be much harder than a straight PVC tub. So
Yes.
that's another thing to consider. If you go with those tubs, you'll probably get 20 more years out of those tubs than you would out of a straight clear tub like the ones that you've got there in your room.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So.
Okay, so I'm glad the views have started to drop down now, but I'm glad we could help a few of you guys. No, Darren, I don't know. I'm in and out of, like, I'm too scared I sell racks and I might need racks eventually when I'm allowed to keep reptiles again.
In 2044, yeah, you might need a few V70s.
I don't know. I just like having, even when we started talking, it's always good to have racks sitting there, even if they're
Yeah.
empty. It
Yeah.
means
Absolutely.
it's the most limiting thing if you a keen reptile keeper and you go, oh shit, I don't have space for this or whatever. If you have a limit, I mean, you have to have a limit. Like
Mm.
you would have reached the sort of a level now where how much room you've got there, and you sort of don't want to go out of that
Yeah.
volume because then it just becomes a problem. And I used to be the same. I used to have 20 racks, and I used to have maybe 15 of those racks or 16 of those racks full of animals. So for
Yeah.
me, it was always important to have extra space. And with those vision racks, you can alternate it. You can change tub sizes, so you can instead of having 2 hatchling tubs, you can have like a V35 shallow, or you
Yep.
can have in the same space you can have one in of 4 small tubs. You can have one V70. That's what makes Vision so versatile, is the fact that you can alternate the size tubs. You can have 4 or 5 different size tubs in the same
Mm.
type of racking. That's
And you
that's
can
why I like
pull
it.
apart and change a whole rack. So I run like one half of that rack is all the V15, the little tiny Antaresia tubs, and
Yeah.
they'll go three wide across there where two normal V18s, go in that same spot. So
Just show the size difference on those tubs, Brent, because I like those little. I think those little tubs are perfect for something small. So you can
yeah,
see sort of a third of the size, or 2/3 of the size of a V18, I reckon.
yeah. I mean,
I
you
like
could
that.
probably keep carpets in that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have a problem with young carpets. They'd be out of it, within a month or two. But if
yeah,
you were really pressed for space, you could run that. Almost sometimes these V18s are a little bit too big. Like you certainly can't run Antaresia in
yeah.
that sort of thing. So,
But
I go
even
from that.
but even that smaller size tub would be the perfect size to keep a hatchling carpet in until you sell it. And
Yeah,
if
yep.
you put a little perch in there, that increases the surface space as well for the animal to utilize. So
Yep.
they sometimes
And
feel
that
more secure
that's
in the smaller tubs as well.
yeah. And that's
Like,
the next one you said you'd be 35 short, which is basically you know
so that's double the V18.
one wide, two of them, or three of those. So it's
Yep.
and they're all in that same layout rack. So you in any of these racks here, I can modify from the 15s. I've got tons of V18s. So I think they all started as V18s, and I bought a ton of these, so I can swap and change depending on the time of the year. At the moment I've got this side, mostly these V35 shorts. So it
Yeah.
just gives you a bit of flexibility to move them around where you need them.
Amy asks if there's Brent's in Sydney and Victoria, and I'm in Victoria. But as far as I know, I don't think they don't hammer. I mean, I know you guys had the new revised regulations with animal size spacing, but I think you guys put up a good fight for that, and they don't enforce that type of stuff, or what?
They are starting to. There's a code of practice which they brought out years ago, which is
Yeah,
basically the standards for size and animal keeping. And parks are. I've heard of a few breeders that have had visits in recent months, and basically they're checking numbers and they're checking requirements on that code of practice. So if they pull open one of these little V35s and you've got an
yeah,
adult carpet python jammed in it, they're not going to cop that. So
yeah.
it's I mean, they're gonna advise you to change it and comply with the code of practice.
Yeah,
So,
I guess it's a common sense type of thing. If in your state that is the requirement, then I would not keep adult carpet in a V70 size tub, or
no,
even I'd keep a children's python or a Simpson's python in a V70 size tub, and then for a carpet python, I'll keep it in a boa tub. I mean
yep,
the bigger size. So
yep,
it's always better to err on the size. Don't get in. You don't want to get in issues with any department,
no.
any legislative body in Australia, because fines is the way of Australia, isn't it?
And once you're on the radar, you're on the
Yeah,
radar. You're constantly under attack. They're just gonna keep coming back, and people say they're getting picked on. Well, you attracted the attention in the first place, and they're going to keep on top of you. You toe the line, get out of the spotlight.
Yeah, so where can people get a hold of you? We'll call it. I think it's been an hour. Yes, right on 51 minutes. So where can people get a hold of you? I'll put your Brent. Give yourself a little plug there, please.
KHP Reptiles Facebook page is probably the most common place people get me. Brent Smith on Messenger, either or. I'm on the web every day, so it's yeah.
You're on
Just bear with
Instagram
me.
as
I'll
well.
whip it out.
You're not that busy on Instagram though, are you?
I need to do more. I do have Instagram. I ignore it a lot, and I often find a message been sitting there for a week too because I just don't frequent Instagram that much. But I think
You,
now that I saw something where Facebook has linked in
yep.
your Instagram messages, Facebook can all come into one spot. So I'll have to just merge it, and I can get on top of it better. But I feel like I ignore Instagram too much. I probably should share more stuff to more platforms than just Facebook.
Or this IT guy of yours would just have to tell you about that stuff.
That's
I've
There's
been
some
looking.
technology boy
I
down
want.
there is supposed to know. Yes.
I was gonna mention that today when I sent you that little picture. I thought I should mention to him that he can actually link his Instagram to his Facebook, and then he can just post in Facebook, and it goes to Instagram as well. That's the great thing about big tech owning all these platforms to control our minds. So yeah,
It
control
is
people.
good, but I still prefer to do different content for Insta. Like I'll have a different picture or something else that I feel like people half feel cheated when you see all the hashtags and this and that and whatever on Facebook. I'm like, that's lazy. You've cheated. You've Instagram copied to that. I still like to do separate content for the different areas, but it's just something you just got to get more into the habit of doing more often.
And if you enjoyed the show, please go and like my YouTube channel on YouTube. I think the quality is a little bit better there as well. It streams in a higher definition as well, so you can watch it on a television and stuff. Carpet Python TV. And remember, once a month, early first Sunday of every month, we do a Australian reptile Q&A. If there's anything that you need to know about reptiles, sponsored by. Either Zoomed Australia or Exoterra Australia, go and have a look. And yeah, that we have a panel of guys that ask all your pressing matters, all your pressing questions about reptiles and this and that. So I just want to make sure that we got everybody here. Okay, yes. Uh, Thank you, Brent, again.
Thank you. We'll be back soon enough. I think there's another one right on the tail of this one, so we might get a day or two off, and we'll be
Yeah.
back in this little sweatbox again.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. We'll keep an eye out. We'll post if we short notice with us. But maybe Brent can let me know the day before. But he doesn't know when the heads pop out. We'll give it a couple of hours at least for people to know. So, thanks a lot,
Habits
guys,
quick.
and thank you for the support. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thanks for the shares.